at the end of a long day, I just want to come back home to this open space, and it's so relaxing, and I feel really lucky. I don't know where I'm going to live when I finally move out, but hopefully it's something as nice and peaceful as this, because I do get a lot of my inspiration from, I don't know, just being out here.
As the song says, "Take me home, country roads." Well, that's true for Julia Haggerty, a Lucan area country folk singer and songwriter and performer. This year, Julia already has an EP of her own, sold out gigs, a show coming up at the Western Fair, and her story goes back to the St. Mary's Choir School in downtown London.
So St. Mary's, getting into that was probably it's basically the beginning of the whole story, because my parents are not musical. My mom's a nurse and my dad's an electrician, so I don't really have anyone in the family to give me any influence, so I kind of found it all on my own. And so it was the teacher in grade 4 that said she should audition for St. Mary's. And it was at St. Mary's that Brenda Zdorsky really took me under her wing. She got me into Mobley choirs as well as the music program at St. Mary's. I went through to the next music program at CCH. So I was bussed in there really early every day. Every day. And then from CCH I went to Western University, and I was there for 5 years. I did my 4-year undergrad, and then I did a 1-year artist diploma.
Good boy. That was so good, Matt. He knows how to do it.
So, as a baby, I was being bounced around by my mom to Billy Joel. Specifically, We Didn't Start the Fire. And then throughout the rest of my years, it was Sheryl Crow, Carole King, and Mary Chapin Carpenter was on a lot. Fleetwood Mac was something that my entire, like, even when I remember family parties at my aunt and uncle's, just Stevie Nicks blaring. And more contemporary influences would have to be the really strong, but also very unique and individual female artists that are in the industry. So that would be someone like Kacey Musgraves. She's really got a sound of her own. And Miranda Lambert, she's like on a mega level, but she's still tapped into something that's really unique. I definitely belong in the country genre with the big band and live music and that kind of focus. But the folk really comes from the storytelling that makes up a lot of my music.
I've never been so afraid to move. My mind's going wild, wondering what you'll do.
It goes by so fast, and you hear the other thing people compare this to if they're not a musician. Like, you hear people say these kind of things about like their wedding day, or do you know what I mean, or these giant events, and I feel like I get to experience that every time I get on stage, where it's just this energy, and when you walk out and there's just a room full of people that are there believing in you and ready to sort of take that emotional ride with you. It's all about that connection, because I could be, if the audience weren't there, what would I be doing? I'd just be practicing, right? And what's the difference between a performance? It's literally one thing, and it's the people that are there to listen and that are there to connect and relate with what you're doing. And what else do we want in this world besides human connection?
So don't let me be, let me be, let me be lonely tonight. While we're young and alive, take the keys to my car and the keys to my heart and just drive. No,
I'm going to keep writing and recording and performing. And I sort of had this realization the other day that I have this idea that I want to be performing, and I know that I want to be performing to the biggest audiences and the biggest stadiums. But if I find myself in Nashville writing and I'm performing and I'm still making music that's coming from the heart and expressing myself that way and with that creativity, I'm going to be happy. So I need to stay in the industry and I need to continue contributing to it. And if that allows me to support myself while I do it and I can devote all of my time to it, I'm going to be very happy.
let me be, let me be, let me be.